Don't give me nothing on consignment. You gon' get jerked. I'd rather flip on you before I flip some work. I'm from dirty down the hill where them clicks get murked. Block lovers kill clicks for turf. I spit proper grammar. Y'all niggas spit propaganda. Political skills sharp enough to ox the chancellor. You handling, I rock with handlers. So don't ever cop to scare us. If you don't pop to blame us. We fuck hustlers, plots and plans up. Flooded blocks with samplers. Took it to the top with scramblers. Yo, I gotta stick dice games and search the socks of gamblers.
Shamel Mackey, better known as Papoose, born March 5th, 1978. Blackballed. If there was ever a rapper that understands that term, it's today's feature. But not blackballed in the typical form, as we'll see later. His was a lot different, and the perfect example of wrong place, wrong time, right artist, wrong circumstances. It's oxymoronic to say you're a hip-hop head, love pure hip-hop at its essence, or even a fan of rap as it was created, and not know who Papoose is. His career literally died on the hill of letting you know that when it came to rapping and doing simply that, his name should be mentioned with the greats. In interviews, whenever he's asked about his place among top MCs in the game, he almost feels disrespected by the comparisons, and also that the goalpost is always moved, so to speak, when record sales versus who can actually spit rhymes are the topic. In the late 90s, he was destined to be the next big rapper from New York, and yes, he was this close to that happening. He's most famously known for his connection to DJ K-Slay, his mixtape classics, and always speaking his mind about injustice of all kinds in the majority of his songs. He had the look right for the times, the pedigree being from the Mecca of hip-hop, and a place some of the greatest MCs of all time were also from. And he was backed by a legendary hip-hop figure in K-Slay, so why didn't he blow up in the rap game and see the same success as other artists who, if you ask him, couldn't compete in that arena with his studied skills? Not only is Papoose one of the many artists that really know what it means to be blackballed from the game, he also had to take the arrows so that MCs coming after him can see and understand one very important misconception of the rap game and what hip-hop music has become. Being a rapper that gets on or blows up isn't only about you being a dope rapper with all the words in the dictionary. Whether it was progressive or not, that hip-hop became mainly about how well your song or album performs, it is what it is. When you sell a lot of anything, you'll be seen as one of the best. When you don't, it's always assumed there's a reason why that falls all on you. Maybe you can't rap like you think. Maybe your beats are poorly selected. Maybe your personality doesn't come with the much needed charisma it takes to build a big fan base. This is the story of Papoose's rap life. Underrated, overlooked, and blackballed. Was Papoose trash, or did his circumstances prevent him from blowing up like he should have? Here are 3 reasons his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Shamel Mackey was born in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, and got the name Papoose since day one, when his grandmother used the Algonquin word meaning baby to describe him, and throughout his life and career, it stuck. Papoose took a liking to rap music after hearing legends Big Daddy Kane and Kool G Rap's music. One day, a family friend came by his house as a kid and was playing a Big Daddy Kane tape as Shamel listened. The family friend went to the bathroom and Papoose pocketed the Kane tape and lied about its whereabouts, even helping to look for it. From there, he studied the tape daily, and it's what made him want to become a great rapper. By the accounts of his peers and true hip-hop fans, he is a good rapper. Everything else is where the problems laid. Stunt number 1, shelved. By his own label, might I add. At least, that's where it started. With Kane as his inspiration to tighten his rhymes, Papoose hit the streets and began perfecting just that. He would drop mixtape after mixtape, song after song, until he built a small following in the streets. He made his first rap appearance thanks to being on Kool G Rap's Roots of Evil album on the song Home Sweet Funeral Home. He would do a year in Rikers Island. Then, in 2004, DJ K-Slay, who played on the local radio, had a session weekly where he'd play unsigned artists and hope they got on. Papoose heard this and started to work on a song to send to the radio station for Slay to play. He had an interesting idea at the time to actually go to the station and hand it to Slay himself. That way he could maybe rap for him and put a face to the name. A week goes by, then another, and his song never got played. Furious is when he went to the station again, stood outside, and called into the K-Slay show and griped about his song not being heard. K-Slay famously told Papoose maybe he should become a fireman because everybody can't rap. K-Slay leaves the radio station soon after, and who's there waiting? An angry Papoose and his crew that aggressively approached the DJ that led to a conversation and Slay taking a liking to Papoose. He promised to play his song on the radio, and it's exactly what he did. More than that, he agreed to sign Papoose to his Street Sweepers imprint as his featured artist after hearing him rap Alphabetical Slaughter live. In 2005, he won the Best Underground Artist Award and gained the attention of Busta Rhymes, who also took a liking to Papoose, featuring him on the remix of his hit single Touch It. Labels came running, and Papoose eventually signed directly to Jive Records for $1.5 million, in part because the label owner's son liked Papoose, giving Papoose unique juice within the label, and causing execs at his own label to become jealous and spiteful they couldn't control him, to the label owner's request for him to be untouchable. Those unnamed execs formulated a plan to shelve Papoose, doing things like disproving his music for release and sending him back to the drawing board. Also, not promoting live events and shorting his budget so he couldn't pay for features and promotion. This, done again and again, stalled the highly anticipated release of his debut album, The Nasarima Dream, American Backwards, ode to Papoose's love for flipping words. In his words, this caused him to miss his moment in the game, and he never got that again. He left Jive Records after a year, but the damage was done. Stunt number 2, Blackballed over his lyrics. Papoose, after he left Jive in 2007, had to start all over again building his name. This time around, with more freedom, he decided to share more knowledge and his message in songs, using his platform to shed light on the injustices going on around him, like false imprisonment and harassment led by the hip-hop police of black hip-hop artists. The song Charades caught the eyes of the hip-hop police, who are in fact real policemen, who began focusing on Papoose. They'd come to his live shows, harass he and the fans at the shows, causing them not to show up to future shows, and his inevitable blackballing once again. The Sam Cooke estate also sued him over the sample of the song that also caused the song not to take off. Newspapers assassinated his character as well in a full-scale demolition of Papoose's music. His militant voice against the establishment was no match, and he paid the price with the silencing of his voice. What's a silent rapper? A time waster. What's a silent rapper? What they made Papoose. Stunt number 3, they called him unbalanced. The final stunt of Papoose's career is the most ironic display of what hip-hop came to around the time Papoose was trying to establish himself. Before Papoose, hip-hop was a free form of expression over instrumentals that were secondary to what the rapper said. Fast forward to the early 2000s, when money really became involved, those instrumentals became not only a backdrop, but were needed to make people dance or at least bop their heads. One of the criticisms of Papoose was that his beat selection didn't live up to the rhymes he said over them and created an unbalance. While rappers like Jay-Z, Nas, Lil Wayne, and more found the balance you need between beats, lyrics, and towing the political line, Papoose's music heavily swayed to lyrics that sounded too lyrical and not enough of that thing that made people move. He then fell in the category of knowledge rapper only that couldn't easily be promoted because of it, and without promotion, his potential slowly fizzled. This created a ceiling of underground rapper that wasn't commercial enough to sell. In 2013, his debut album finally came and to great review within the hip-hop community. But it didn't explode like it should have back when it was supposed to have been released 7 years earlier. It debuted at number 97 on the US Billboard 200 and number 13 on the US Billboard Top R&B and Hip Hop Albums with first week sales of 5,000 copies in the United States, which cemented Papoose as an artist that didn't reach his potential. All in all, Papoose is most definitely a good rapper. But being nice, unfortunately, was at the time and is no longer the only factor of rap success. Labels properly promoting you, your message towing the right line of not offending the powers that be, and doing things to help your commercial potential. Papoose was one of the first artists to really feel the effects of all those, and it derailed his career. He's still putting out music and still performing, but in 2021, Papoose is supposed to have been recognized as one of the top all-around rappers from his era, and for these reasons, he's not. Salute to him, I wish him nothing but the best. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.